So as you were able to see in the last video, we had some problems with spark and some misfires, and this is why in this video we are going to show you what we have done to remedy this. First, a short throwback to what problems we had so that you also know what was up. And now we have installed Audi, or rather VW coil on plugs, so that we have a better ignition system, since the standard MX-5 ignition is kind of weak. So as I said, we are installing these VW coils, and I have already built a wiring harness for those. I'm just going to explain to you how that works, because I'm not going to show you the whole process. We have, obviously, on the stock coils, we have two plugs. One of those wires is, or rather one of these coils is supposed to be going to two cylinders. So we have, in this case, we have a wasted spark setup. So at the same time, two of the coils are firing, and this is why we have two plugs, and we gotta run one wire from these via Volkswagen coils to one wire of those plugs. So in this case we are firing 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 together, and so we are going to run from those coils in this case this white wire and this white wire to one plug, so to the plug on the coil that fires the fourth and first one, and then we are just running that to one of the pins that is the trigger pin. And the other wires from the other coils we are just going to run to the other plug on the trigger pin, and that's basically it, because the other pins that are connected to these coils are just ground. So we have two ground pins on each of those. And we have one 12-volt pin that is just going to run to a 12-volt supply, such as either one pin on those ignition coils, or just something where there's 12-volt as soon as you have ignition turned on. And yeah, that's basically it. Then we just plonk in these coils. We don't need a bracket to hold them down. They are pretty firmly in there. You don't need anything. They are really firm, as I said. You don't really need anything to hold them down. Some people like to have something to hold them, but I don't really think that is necessary. Also, my startup kind of has been a bit better since I installed those coils. So yeah, I don't know if that is something to do with this, but hey, if it does, it's a positive, I guess. After that, we had probably a way better ignition system, and we had way less misfires. The only thing we had to do then was try new plugs, because we still had some issues up top, but we could solve that with some new spark plugs. That's basically it from here, because we are encountering some other issues, because before we are turning up the boost, I still want to have some grip in third gear, because even though we are running Federal 595 RS Pro semi-slicks, which are only 180 or 220 we are still having massive traction issues in third gear. We are still spinning loads. I have taken out all the camber on the rear, and we are at a pretty high ride height, so camber should not be a huge issue, although I would still try to do some modifications to the control arms to maybe get rid of some more camber, because I think there's still 1 or 2 degrees. And yeah, then we'll have to look into what we have to get done to get better traction, especially in third gear. In second, we will probably not be able to gain anything, because that's just too low of a gear to get any good traction. So third gear it is. And then when we have traction again, we will up the power again and see what happens, especially to the 5-speed transmission. And yeah, that's basically it for this part, and yeah, hope you like it. And if you have any questions, as always, drop them down in the comments below. And yeah, until next time, bye.